be, it's just using PTA for the W auto attack reset, as you said. As we get into,
are we going to get any level 1 shenanigans? What do you think?
Both teams have the hook champions. I think that
there is definitely a possibility for a level 1 in this game. Is what you're telling me then?
Yes, I think Ruin Kings have a slightly better level 1, a hook into a set. That there's a lot of CC that can be dealt level 1. So I think most likely Ruin Kings will want the invade, while Hive Mind, as they're showing, they're 5-pointing. They don't want to.
Yeah, Outlaw going to get that ward towards his red buff. Reset, pick up a sweeper. No level 1 going to come through from Ruin Kings, just a defensive 5 stack to prevent any invade from Hive Mind. Obviously, with the Nautilus, I think it's quite sketchy invading into a Nautilus because he has the hook into the root on his auto.
Yeah, that is true. I just think, both teams, I think, were right to not push forward for an invade.
As much as I would have wanted to see an invade, I always like level 1 shenanigans. Yeah, I agree. It was the correct decision from both teams to not. A little bit of early trading mid. Vince going to be using that flamethrower quite a lot. We're going to be seeing that ability animation pretty much on cooldown. As we mention it, he walks forward again. Just trying to warm up the snow day Malzahar.
One thing I do want to say is Malzahar is never going to have his shield up.
No.
Against the Rumble, that shield will basically be completely useless.
Yep, that shield should never be allowed to be up. And it's just going to be pretty standard farming. Both junglers starting in their blue quadrants and are going to full clear towards their reds. So we won't even have an early fight over Scuttle Crabs.
Yeah, you think Vi will be going for the top and Gragas going for bot Scuttle. There shouldn't be anything. I do think, though, that there may be a gank mid lane relatively early, because this Hans's Rumble will be pushing as far up as he can.
Yeah. I mean, very possibly. Maybe Luke Caruana will be able to find something with the flash body slam onto the spell shieldless Malzahar, but Frostmoth very much having a bad time in this lane.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's any fun at all. You have no way of stopping the Rumble just walking up to you.
Nice ward over the wall by Vince into the Raptor camp. Going to spot out Outlaw, by the way. Saw the pings come down.
Where do you think the first kind of major scuffles will be?
I mean, it's difficult to say. It's like we mentioned, both junglers are clearing towards opposite sides of the map, so they're not going to be contested on their Scuttle Crabs.
Vi using the what's it called? The ward plant. Can I remember what it's called? Sorry.
Oh yeah, the Scryer's Bloom. As we see, Howlers are dropping very low. The final auto can't quite find him, and the minion auto attacks are going to get healed away by the potion. Didn't even see what.
We do see Gragas, Luke Caruana coming behind though.
They might try for a dive. If Feb can get this wave shoved, MDib taking very low in the top side though. The Haymaker's going to do a lot to protect him from Killer Vanilla. Chomp coming down, but it's not quite enough. Granny Spanner on his own under bot lane tower. The zap going to come through. Nice flash away from the body slam, but the hook going to connect. Captain Fast flashing out from underneath the turret. Granny Spanner, one hit from dead. Kill going over to Luke Caruana. But Outlaw going to dive MDib on the opposite side of the map. Can he find him? Haymaker, no. MDib turns around one. Killer Vanilla going to not get picked up by the turret. Didn't quite take aggro. I thought the tower had aggroed onto the volley bear there, and we were going to see MDib with a double kill. But very solid start for Ruined Kings, 2-0. Both sides of the map winning.
Huge amounts of summoners used there as well. And the flash to escape the Vi Q, the Vi charge as well, really, really coming in clutch.
Yeah, perfectly timed from MDib.
And so we're now seeing 4 minutes in, 1.4k gold already in the favor of Ruined Kings.
Yeah, gold lead already starting to grow. Obviously, that first blood money, both the kills, really going to help out. I don't like Luke Caruana taking that kill, honestly. I would have rather seen it donated to the Jinx. But in a tower dive, you got to just secure the kills as quickly as possible. So it's not the end of the world.
Rumble
And
might be caught by Portsmouth here.
he's just going to eat a harpoon,
Yeah.
and Vince is going to be allowed to walk away.
So once all that's happened, we are now seeing Portsmouth looking for an early dragon. He's going to be caught,
He's
though, I
caught
think.
by Captain Fast and Vince. Yeah, blast going over, Flay into the Rumble, and that Vi is just going to get cooked.
The
She might
TP
have
in.
wanted a fake tan, but that's not how you get your tans for summer.
Yeah, and that is going to be a nice, balmy Ocean Soul going for Ruined Kings.
Attempt for the steal from Granny Spanner with the Deadly Flourish. Do like to see that, but a little bit too early with that Jin W.
Yeah, and this is an early Ocean Dragon as well, is so useful. The amount of lane sustain it can give, particularly this early on as well, that is going to be so useful.
Yeah, I mean, you look out. Oh, but the Flash Nether Grasp from Jensen onto Vince. Flash away with the Scrap Shield, going to keep him alive. Not enough damage from that Doran's Ring Malzahar just yet.
Did the Space Aids, I can never remember what the actual name of the ability.
We can just refer to it as Space Aids.
It's Space Aids. Was that put down just before the ult as well? So even with that, it wasn't...
Flash Body Slam going to miss, though. Granny Spanner dodging out on that just about. Teleport going to come through. Guardian popped as well. And Killer Vanilla is now in the fight. The Stormcaller is down, and the Thunder is going to rain. Luke Caruana burning from the Ignite. Falls to Killer Vanilla. TP very much worth it. Granny Spanner picking up a second off the back of a hook from Howlitzer. Hive Mind took a couple of punches in the early game, but they are not going down without a fight.
I just really want to shout out Howlitzer there. I think he landed 2 huge hooks there. The one at the end, confirming the kill as well. Really good. Well played by him.
But MDib getting a lot of turret plates in trade on that top side. And yes, it's not worth, I am aware. 2 kills for like 2 turret plates. Definitely value
has
for
been
Hive Mind.
And Portsmouth knows that. Haymaker has been used if he wants to try and challenge the set.
He is spotted on a ward here. Vince roaming up. Not going to quite catch him.
So those early trades have meant that the goal difference is only about 1k difference for Ruined Kings. So Hive Mind were able to get a decent amount back from the trade bot lane. So that is definitely worth for them.
Yeah, and I mean, Hive Mind are doing a good job weathering this early storm. We always, whenever we talk about Ruined Kings, or whenever I've talked about Ruined Kings in the past, I've always thought they've been one of the better early game focused teams in the league. They've always been able to get an early lead, snowball it, and just keep relentlessly going after you once they get even a slight bit ahead.
In terms of CS differences, we're not seeing a huge amount either way right now.
Cask not quite going to knock Killer Vanilla back into Luke Caruana. I mean, no. There's 10 CS in the top lane, 10 CS in the mid lane. But other than that, it's pretty close. We are going to see the Hive Mind red buff stolen away, though.
I mean, there has been invades on buffs by both sides. Vi taking the blue buff earlier and not being able to take her red buff now. So both teams trying to utilize their map pressure to take the neutral monsters when they can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both of these teams are very smart about how they approach the game. So I would expect them to be exploiting every little advantage that they see when it's there on the map in front of them. And yeah, it's leading us to a very close game so far. Only 800, 900 gold really in it.
In terms of win conditions, which team do you think has a slightly easier win condition?
Ruined Kings. We see the Assault and Battery coming out on 2 hands. Equalizer going to drop onto the top of the Vi, and the fight going to continue in the spot. So River Outlaw getting cooked. Burning from the Ignite, burning from the Flame Splitter, but Vince is overheated. Cannot continue to chase, but the Super Mega Death Rocket finding one. Curtain Call answering back with the Nether Grasp CC. Killer Vanilla finding a solo kill in the top lane with the Volley Bear. The Chomp going to come down, and the Depth Charge on to Feb. Going to find the knockup, but Feb finds one onto Jensen. Malzahar going to fall to start off the fight. Is anything going to get continued? Doesn't look like it. I think that was a 3-for-3 cross map or 2-for-2 cross map. No, 2-for-2.
Yeah, it was 2-for-2. And Oh, Feb nearly caught there. If he was any closer, I think they could have possibly engaged under turret.
Very nice
And-
snipe though with the Super Mega Death Rocket to pick up the kill onto Vince. Not to Vince, onto Luke Caruana.
Yeah. I will say though that the Mal's ult, the Mal suppression into Jin ult, into the curtain, that is just means Jin is able to land every single shot, all 4 of them, if the suppression isn't cancelled. So that is possibly going to be a huge pick potential in the mid game.
It is a very, very nice combination, definitely, for finding these picks. And yeah, we saw it beautifully executed in that team fight, but it's still Ruined Kings with a slender lead. Albeit that has closed up gradually as this game has gone on, and they're going to try and sneak a dragon here.
They are seen by a pink ward though, so.
But there are no ultimates up really for anyone. Ruined Kings have their ults coming up faster than Hive Mind do, so maybe Hive Mind don't want to take this, but it is a 4v5 as we do see the engage. Equalizer comes down and the explosive cast knocking everyone off it. Granny Spanner caught up, rooted, and is cooking on the Equalizer, but Killer Vanilla going to find 2. Third found onto Luke Caruana, and Feb is hooked back in. The Super Mega Death Rocket, Feb trying to do what he can. Going to find Howlitzer, gets excited, and now he can start kiting away. Conqueror is stacked, so that Jinx is going to start shredding and healing for a ton, and they are just going to let Feb walk out. 3-for-1 fight. Big performance there from Killer Vanilla, but turret in the top lane falls for MDib, and somehow losing a fight 3-for-1, Ruined Kings extend their gold lead.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate there right at the end for Hive Mind that they weren't quite able to collapse onto the Jinx, and the Jinx was able to pick up 1 kill, and that's enough to get excited and to run as fast as she can out. So I think it was the right decision to leave at that point from Ruined Kings, not try and chase the Jinx any further.
This is also quite important though. We've seen a lot of the Ruined Kings games. They like to look for early Dragon Souls. And they're not going to be able to do that now. Having one of the dragons taken away, it's going to be delayed by another 5 minutes. They're going to have to pick up 3 of these Infernal Drakes. And yeah, I mean, Hive Mind just showing that they want to be fighting. They want to throw down, have these brawls, have these scraps, and just almost try and beat Ruined Kings at their own game.
I do think that with Infernal Dragon, there is slightly more options for the North.
Connecting on to Howlitzer Outlaw in the area, though. Depth Charge going to come down, and the Assault and Battery finds Feb. TPs from
2 TPs.
From top and mid. MDib going to fire off the Showstopper, maybe no. 2 kills instantly falling over to Ruined Kings as the Equalizer comes down. Frostmoth cooking as he is trying to limp away. Feb finds another kill. The Super Mega Death Rocket going to pick up a second double kill on the fight, and it's an ace. Clean 5-4-0 in the bot lane. Ruined Kings demolished that fight.
I just want to say that was 4v5 as well.
For a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, for the whole of it. Luke
for the whole fight.
There.
Yeah. It was just a really good use of the Equalizer. As I said previously, the Equalizer found Malzahar during the Nether Grasp, and so he was cooking while being rooted as well, and that meant Jinx with Get Excited was just able to mow down everyone else, and a really well aimed Super Mega Death Rocket at the end to pick up the final 2 kills, to pick up one of the last kills and chase for that final kill.
Yeah, and you just got to remember with Rumble and Malzahar, you as the Rumble player, whenever you fire that Equalizer, you give the Malzahar a choice, and the choice is: do I sit here and take all of this damage to keep one of the enemy team locked down? Or am I too valuable to my team to be dying this early in a team fight? Do I cancel my ultimate, try and kite, try and reposition, and get my damage off elsewhere?
And I'd say generally, unless you're getting it onto the Jinx, it is get out of that ultimate and try and use your other abilities, your silences, to augment the rest of the team fight. And that's unless it's on the Jinx before she's paid her taxes.
I don't think a silence on a Jinx is particularly valuable, but I do agree any damage they can find on that Jinx is going to be very helpful.
I meant suppressing the Jinx is more important than.
Oh no, I agree. But
yeah.
when you say if it's not the Jinx, cancel it. I mean, I think suppressing the Gragas is fine. Honestly, like the only person you really don't want to suppress on this Ruin Kings lineup is pretty much Captain Fast.
Yeah. A silence on a Thresh is fine. You definitely don't need to use him as the suppression target. And so after that last fight, there is a definite gold lead starting to come for Ruin Kings. It's 29k to just under 23k.
Yeah,
that's a 6.3k
kind of exploded
gold advantage.
To a lot of gold all of a sudden. Granny Spanner pops the heal, dodging away from the Thresh hook. Hook going to connect onto Feb, though. The Deadly Flourish rooting him down as the depth charge comes through for the knockup. Equalizer goes down and pens in Howlitzer and Granny Spanner, and the explosive cast picks up one. Knocking Granny Spanner to safety, though, away from the Super Mega Death Rocket. But this should be the turret. Flash body slam forwards, going to find the Jhin as the Nether Grasp comes down onto Luke Caruana. MDib finding one in the back line. Killer Vanilla trying to do what he can. Luke Caruana taking a bunch of damage, but is going to get hooked up now. Can Killer Vanilla get out, or is he going to fall? Flash is going to take him to safety. No, the flamethrower. Looks like we're having bear steak for dinner tonight. Or at least that's what Ruin Kings will be having. That's going to be mid-turret. Another 4 kills for Ruin Kings.
What I want to say there is, even without the Jinx for most of that fight, Ruin Kings didn't care. They just have so much damage and utility with the Gragas and Rumble. The Equalizer there just chunking out everyone. So, I mean, it's really going to be so difficult for Hivemind. They have to prioritize Jinx, but be so careful with the Rumble Equalizer.
This is the thing. If you burn all of your damage into the Jinx, which Hivemind had to throw a lot into Feb there to actually be able to bring him down. What are you going to do about the other 4?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really spoken too much about MDib, but his set is actually starting to do a lot of damage. He has Stridebaker. He's able to just take someone completely out of the fight with Showstopper, I think.
Oh, and that's a beautiful Equalizer on the path in. Going to cook up both the carries. Finds one, almost finds a second, just almost with the Equalizer on its own. Luke Caruana with the explosive cask as well for the extra damage. Triple kill for Vince. Jensen the only escapee. And he owes his life to Luke Caruana's Gragas for exploding him away from the Equalizer.
I do want to say, though, that the Gragas ult there actually puts half of Hivemind back in to the Equalizer and guaranteed the triple there, actually. So that was a really, really good use of the explosive cask.
The gold lead now cresting 10,000 before 20 minutes. Absolute early game domination coming through from Ruin Kings.
And it's only going to get worse. We have Infernal Dragons that are going to be taken every time. They've taken one, and they're going to be looking for a Baron as the next objective.
I don't know why they're over here this early. Baron doesn't spawn for another minute and a half.
They also haven't backed, so...
They're putting on Rift Herald.
Rift Herald, sorry, yeah.
We don't have a Herald timer, that's why that one caught us a little bit.
Meant a Rift Herald. They're going to take that nice and quickly. There's no point in Hivemind contesting that one.
Definitely not. They're all going to have a lot of gold in their pockets as well, so I would say watch these Hivemind inventories, because we might see some big items popping up on these resets.
Ruin Kings are definitely going to have huge amounts of gold to spend. We're going to see the Deadman's Plate for set, so just going to be able to engage even quicker.
Yeah, it's looking bleak for Hivemind. I think it's fair to say.
Hans is also going to have a Zhonya's in the next fight, and that is big.
Feb picks up his Runon's Hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone is on their second item.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit rough. Really, really, really rough for Hive. What are ways back into this game, though? Obviously, it looks rough, but there are still ways they can begin to get back into this.
I do think that a Baron fight, if they're able to get essentially a counter engage when Ruin Kings are looking for Baron, it could be really nice. Malzahar altered target. I think the Nethergrass is able to reach over the wall just about of the Baron Pit. If they're able to suppress Luke Caruana's Gragas, suddenly there's no smite. Vi can jump in for that smite, possibly.
You can also get the curtain call over the top there as well, so Granny Spanner can dish out some damage.
I like the use of the Rift Herald to distract from the Baron call.
Hivemind are even going to be able to contest this.
Yeah, the Rift Herald being used. Ruin King didn't even care if it didn't hit a turret. It was just using it to distract.
Even dropping the Equalizer just to burn it that little bit faster.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
That's a really good call there. I have to admit, I think Hivemind possibly focused a little bit too hard on that Rift Herald. They knew Baron was spawning.
They have to defend their base.
True, but
you put losing an inhibitor tower at risk there if you don't commit to dealing with the Herald.
But which is more important, do you think? Not contesting the Baron at all, or sending one person to deal with the Rift Herald?
If you contest the Baron and you lose 3 or more people, you're losing a lot of your base. And potentially even the game at that point. With the gold lead as large as it is, you potentially even lose the game at that point. So I think the call is fine. And yeah, I don't have any real disagreements with it. And it's just, at this point for Hivemind, it's just how long can we stall this game? Can we keep this game going to a point where we might actually be able to fight?
The problem with stalling, though, is you have a Jinx who is just going to get so strong.
Exactly.
And Rumble doesn't really fall off particularly hard. And he has the Equalizer, which is just game-changing at whatever point.
Fight ability, yeah.
Yeah. And Set just becomes even more of a nuisance in these fights. So they can try and turtle, they can try and stall, but Hivemind are going to... it's going to be so difficult for them to find anything.
Depth charge coming through. They are going to try and look onto Feb. The Assault and Battery comes down as well. The Equalizer defensively, and it's first kill onto the Vi. Killervanilla trying to do what he can, but he's just going to melt down to the Gragas. Feb is still alive. The attempt to dive the Jinx was unsuccessful. Zhonya's comes out from Vince, keeping him alive through the Nether Grasp, and Captain Fast falls to the turret. Vince falls to the turret as well. Double kill for Frostmoth, but it's not going to be enough. It's a little bit too little too late. Can Granny Spanner find a snipe onto anyone? Doesn't manage to find Luke Caruana, as MDib going to block the shots. That's going to be at least one inhibitor here for the Ruin Kings.
And they do have Baron minions. If Ruin Kings really wanted to limit test, essentially, they could try to push even further. But if they're doing the sensible option, which is try and pick up just the inhib turret here.
I don't want to speak too soon here, Judgy. But with this game going the way it is, it means the dream for the 4-way tie for 5th is still on.
It's going to be so difficult for Hivemind to come out of this with the dub. A second Infernal Dragon is going to go the way of Ruin Kings. That's a lot of damage just from the dragons alone. Combine that with the huge gold lead.
Well, yeah, it's almost a full item in every position with this lead.
Yeah, I mean,
11,500 gold.
Is there any real way for Hivemind to get this match anywhere near their favor?
Picks. That's the only way, I think. Look for picks. Start claiming these shutdowns. There's 500 gold on Luke Caruana. There's 150 gold on both MDib and Vince. It's not much, but it's a start.
The thing is, though, I think they're going to really struggle to find picks, as I think Ruin Kings will be looking to just go 4-1, or possibly even just 5-man the bot lane turrets. Yeah,
I don't think you even need to try and split push at this point. You can just hit them in the face with your wallet. You're that far ahead. To even a bad engage on a team fight, you still probably win it just because of the item difference.
Yeah. Rumble is not in this fight. This is going to be huge.
Rook's going to start it off, and Deadly Flourish onto Captain Fast keeps him locked down. The volley bet straight into the backline, though, with the Vi. Feb is getting jumped on and chunked, and he's dropping very dangerously low, and he is going to fall. 1-for-1 to start this fight off. The Showstopper going to take Killer Vanilla back into his team, and it's actually a winning position for Hive Mind so far. 2-for-2 now on the fight. Howlets are going to drop for a third, but it is equalized 3-for-3. That is the kind of fight Hive Mind needs to keep finding. Curtain is now called. Can Granny Spanner get anything done? Lands 2 shots. Third one misses, and then he cancels the performance.
That is what happens when the Rumble Equalizer is not there in a fight.
Yep.
So that's simply what happens.
Oh, the Equalizer came down.
It came down, but way too late in the fight because Hans was still coming up from the bot lane. And that was the thing that, yes, it did come, but it came so late that he wasn't able to use it in as advantageous of a position as he would have liked. So I think it actually ended up really burning 1, possibly 2 members of Hive Mind. And it just meant Granny Spanner was in the back line, dishing out huge auto-attack damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the kind of fight you need to be finding as Hive Mind. That's going to be a lot of gold onto both carries.
And it really is looking for those 5v4s, anything where they have a numbers advantage so that they can hopefully do just enough damage without...
they can maybe find something.
Baron is going to be spawning in just over 10 seconds, and Hive Mind aren't in a position right now to do anything about this Baron, I think.
It really doesn't look like it. Going to be started on spawn, and Feb, with this Kraken Slayer Jinx, is going to melt through this Baron buff's HP.
I also want to quickly say Portsmouth is bot lane, so they are really not going to contest this at all.
Yeah, the Vibe pick, I mean, I like it. It's cool. I like seeing varied champions. I don't think we've seen the Vi so far this season, but I don't think it had anywhere near the desired effect this game.
Yeah, it may have been good in solo queue, but unfortunately, 5v5s are a completely different beast.
Well, yeah, exactly that.
And Baron empowered minions, this top lane turret is going to fall very quickly.
I don't think... Well, yeah, I mean, this turret won't survive long at all with the Baron buff. The minion's going to be so much stronger, so much tankier. This turret going to be evaporated by the Jinx.
And the Get Excited, will they look for something with passive?
How long can Hive Mind weather this storm? Can they see out this Baron buff? Flash onto Granny Spanner. Explosive cast not going to quite find him because of the heal. The Equalizer going to come down, and no one's really cooking on it. Oh, but Frostmoth roots himself on the top of it again. MDib going to fall to Outlaw, but it is also traded 2-for-1 so far. Killer Vanilla jumping forward. Captain Fast trying to run through and tank up the turret. If the gold was even, this could be such a good fight for Hive Mind, but they're going to get aced. They're going to get swept aside. It is 5-for-3. But again, it is both carries alive, and Feb on this Jinx, basically full HP as the fight ends. That's likely going to be the game here as well. Onto the Nexus turrets.
You do have to feel sorry for Hive Mind there. That was possibly one of the best fights they could have taken, but it's not going to be enough.
They might not be able to end here. Howlets is up, and I know it's only the support, but maybe he can cause enough disruption. Gets himself rooted up, and no, this should just be game. Feb is on the Nexus. Equalizer going to come down. Ruin Kings continuing their win streak.